drugs, scandals, and being on the edge of mental insanity. Syd Barrett went from co-founder of Pink Floyd to dropping off the grid several years later, but what really happened? What took Syd Barrett from the heights of success to the depths of obscurity? Shockingly, drugs were part of the reason he became successful, so what could have been such an influence to cause him so much mental anguish and make him leave Pink Floyd? Let's explore what happened to Pink Floyd member Syd Barrett. By the time Pink Floyd had reached mainstream success, the band itself seemed unstoppable. It was at the forefront of the psychedelic rock upheaval that created a wave of popularity and innovation in the music industry. Syd Barrett, the band's lead guitarist and songwriter, was a primary catalyst for the success. His style of playing guitar was innovative, making use of echo machines to create a unique sound. Unfortunately, the creativity that drove Barrett to musical heights might also have caused his downfall. He was known to take large amounts of drugs, LSD being the most expensive, which resulted in erratic behavior and an inability to remember the lyrics he wrote. Eventually, Pink Floyd had to ask him to leave the band due to his mental instability and other various scandals and factors. But was it really the LSD and drugs that led him down the path of destruction, leaving him alone and exiled from the band he helped create? Before we explore the reasons for his downfall, it's important to understand where he found his inspiration. While it's possible that LSD was the cause of his downfall, that's not all of it. After all, his main inspiration and one of the reasons that Pink Floyd was formed in the first place was Syd's unique style of playing guitar. His use of echo machines, different kinds of amplifiers, and his ability to take traditional blues licks and expand them into something new were all pieces that made him stand out from the crowd. It wasn't necessarily drugs that caused these innovations, no doubt it enhanced them, but they were born in his head first. Still, the adoption of psychedelics was something that Syd and the other members of Pink Floyd did, as a means to bring their music further into the surreal and make something even more unique. It was this willingness to try new things that gave them success, but this same spirit also put Barrett's mental health at risk. Syd Barrett was a highly intelligent man, and he quickly realized that he could use psychedelics to explore the corners of his mind and push the boundaries of what he could create. He continued experimenting with different drugs and uses, and quickly helped Pink Floyd to rise through the echelons of success. But eventually, the drugs he took began to take their toll on his mental health. Despite the fact that the other band members were quickly becoming worried over Syd Barrett's mental health, they still made the smart decision to continue on their successful track. Their second single, See Emily Play, became even more popular than the first and reached number 6 on the British charts. Furthermore, Syd had delivered a string of incredible songs for their first album, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn. Why would they stop now? The only thing that could weigh down on their incredible success would be the loss of their lead guitarist and songwriter, Syd Barrett. Unfortunately, not long after the album's release in August 1967, it was already clear that Syd's mental health was deteriorating quickly. The band had to cancel their planned appearance at the National Jazz and Blues Festival due to his nervous exhaustion. When the band left for their US tour later that year, it became increasingly obvious that Syd was not in a good place mentally. He would stand on stage and detune his guitar during gigs, stare catatonically during interviews, and had visibly lost an extreme amount of weight since he joined Pink Floyd only a few years before. The band managers quickly realized that Syd's public presence was becoming a liability to the band, and thus decided to abort the tour. Syd was out, but how did the process go about? How did Syd leave the legendary band that he co-founded and propelled to success? The band's managers tried several different arrangements, including Syd remaining as a behind-the-scenes songwriter, but when those plans failed, Syd was officially let go in March 1968. After his departure from Pink Floyd, Syd's mental state continued to deteriorate and he never seemed to recover. He had several solo releases over the next few years, but none of them received any real attention or recognition. Ultimately, Syd quit music altogether and disappeared from public life until his death at the age of 60. In 1975, Pink Floyd released Wish You Were Here as a tribute to their former bandmate, and it quickly became one of their most successful albums. While Syd Barrett's influence on the band has been seen by many as a cautionary tale, his experimentations with LSD and drugs are also a reminder that sometimes pushing the boundaries of creativity can have unforeseen consequences. It wasn't like Syd Barrett just gave up after his exit from Pink Floyd, though. Syd Barrett might have been destroyed by drugs, but he was a brilliant man who had a likely genius-level IQ, and he wasn't done with music. Syd Barrett's solo career was brief, 2 albums, The Madcap Laughs and Barrett, as well as a single, Octopus. He managed to gain some critical acclaim for his work, including reviews that highlighted his blues influences in songs like Terrapin, Maisie, and Bob Dylan Blues. But eventually, the money ran out and Syd Barrett moved back to Cambridge in 1978 to live with his mother. He returned to London for a few weeks in 1982, but ended up returning to Cambridge permanently. By this time, Syd was living on royalties from his Pink Floyd years. Aside from that, he enjoyed painting large abstract canvases and gardening during what free time he had. His reclusiveness meant that he rarely ventured outside of his house, and his physical health deteriorated due to ulcers and type 2 diabetes. In 1996, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but he did not attend the ceremony. And soon after, in 2006, Syd passed away. Ultimately, Syd's story is one of tragedy and untapped potential. Despite his genius-level intelligence and massive success, Syd Barrett's drug use and mental instability wreaked havoc on his life, and he was never able to truly recover from it. With the exception of a few autographs, Syd Barrett had no contact with the public until his death in 2006 at the age of 60. Syd Barrett was an important member of Pink Floyd, a talented musician, songwriter, and innovator who pushed boundaries with psychedelic experimentation. While drugs may have been a part of his downfall, they were also part of what made him great. His experimentations and innovations helped create an art form that will be remembered forever, even if sadly we won't be able to see what else he could have created if not for his untimely death. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think the drugs managed to fuel Syd Barrett, or do you believe that his mind had the potential there all along? Did he even need to take them in the first place? Let us know your opinion in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.